Well guys, here we go, the update I was waiting for the last 3 days at least, from the southern part of Ukraine, where Russia actually crossed the small river in attempt to gain the control over the main villages, like for example Kamensk and Stepnohirsk. This is the very crucial village. They also went to Plavny and they even entered the building of the music school, which is not in service any longer, it is understandable. Well, Ukraine prepared and launched the counteroffensive, as you may see on this map from the Mykal 73 Analytic, and it's not the only source which confirms the Ukrainian counterattack, so Russians were thrown away from this side and the fights are ongoing in Kamensk itself. I would say that the Russian assault operation in Kamensk is basically failed. For now. Still, they have the opportunity to send more forces, throw them in a mid-waves, but for now Ukraine attack them, counterattack very successfully. If you want to know more details, so there is the dam, it's over here, and Russia used it already for the second time to advance across this lake. This bridge here is no more, so Russians somehow advanced across the river from this direction, so simultaneously they managed to propel forward, but just for a few days. And of course, with this river and with Russia able to create significant bridgehead on the other shore, Russian forces will retreat even from Kamensk, and probably they already went from Kamensk because it's in a gray zone. So absolutely fantastic news we have from the Zaporizhzhia Direction. So about the music school, here we have the video. Let's zoom in to the place, and there is this big music school with some of the buildings around, and here is the residential building. It's not in use any longer, but we have the confirmation video about some of the Russian troops who were hiding there. So they were spotted by Ukrainian surveillance drone, and Ukraine launched so many FPV drones, and one of the drones went inside and kaboomed the basement later on. Then Russian infantry spread across the nearby buildings, but little by little Ukraine found out every Russian troop, and yeah, you know what happened to them all. So there were multiple of the strikes, like for example here in this building, so all of the Russian soldiers were spotted. Now let's go to Sumy region, where Ukrainian army also was successful recently, and there Russian infantry was hit by Ukrainian drones. Infantry tried to get out from Kindrativka. On the way back, maybe even to the Russian border, maybe even to the Russian territory, they were hit by Ukrainian drones. So here we have the confirmation several of the Russian soldiers, and you may predict their destiny. Yeah, it's no go. Sorry guys, on this channel I cannot share this video with you. I will publish it on my Telegram, so the link is in the video description. So that situation means that Ukraine is acting behind Kindrativka with lots of the FPV drones, and the fight is now ongoing for Oleksiivka, still ongoing. Oleksiivka is in a gray zone, I would say already. Well, Russians also act with their drones. The Ukrainian positions are out there in Kindrativka, but the main aim for Russia is the Ukrainian flag, which our guys put on this tower. So Russians try to hit it with their drones. That's the stupid waste of the drones and munition, but they do it. Yeah, you can say this tower is in Kindrativka itself, but it's not the only structure. In Kindrativka, Ukraine controls the entire village. Well, I see the Russian channels, they publish the videos of how they use some of the drones in Sumy region. They try to hit Ukrainian artillery, Ukrainian vehicles with Giran drones. Sometimes their strikes are successful. So I'm not saying that hooray, Ukraine is nailing Russians totally. No, Ukraine also has losses. As you see, Russia tries to hit back very hard with their even aviation gliding bombs sometimes. They even try to counterattack, but now Ukraine has the advantage in the Sumy region, not elsewhere on the front lines. So for Sumy it is understandable, Ukraine tries to get initiative. Tyotkino, everything is the same. Let's go to the Kharkiv region. Here in the northern part there are no changes, but we have kind of the big event. First tank battle for many months was filmed. Yeah, tank against tank, Ukrainian tank and Russian tank. It's kind of the very rare event. It happened in Siversk, by the way. Siversk is over here, and the attack of the Russian army happened from Verkhnokamensk. Yeah, there was the massive Russian attack, and they tried to do it once again. So here we go with the video. This is the Ukrainian tank. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, it goes all across the field, a little bit shadowed by this tree line. So we have zoom in, pretty much good zoom for this drone camera, and there is the Russian tank. Russian hangar tank. It's big, you can see. So our tank is not the hangar type of the tank. The turret may rotate as it should be, but Russian tank, they saw probably our tank, they're panicked and decided to go where? Forward? They don't have the moving turret any longer, and yeah, I'm gonna drop myself a little down here. So yeah, this is the Russian tank. Our tank went from this tree line, and we'll see what happens. This tank is stopped like this, so our guys decided to pull back, you see, but it was too late. So at least there were a couple of the shots, but this tank, you see, the armor takes it and it continued the movement backwards. Unfortunately, video cuts over here, abrupt. There was no fire from the Russian tank towards the Ukrainian one, maybe because of the tuning. So this hangar defense may protect the vehicle against the drone strikes, but it's the easy target against the Ukrainian tanks. T-64 tank, I think Ukraine used here. It happened close to this lake, not far away from Siversk. Russia tries to get into this settlement. Before, they wasted multiple of the vehicles in their attacks. I think I told you about it in my yesterday's update from the front lines. Alright, this is Donetsk Oblast. The Russians tried to mask their tank in the bushes. Ukraine saw it and decided to drop some of the mines or shells from the drone. I think our guys used Baba Yaga drone, so here is the tank, and you may see how precise the strike really is. So they hit the tank, so tank was pretty much kaputted. I wonder how is it really possible, because drone was, drone was flying, it was dropping the shells were also flying horizontally and downstairs, and they hit the tank with enormous precision. Like, it's so precise. I'm shocked, guys. It seems like they have even some sort of the guidance there, laser guidance. I don't know. Is it something new? Because the probability for this precise strike during the movement, there have to be some sort of the guidance for this, because it's too precise. Here's one more Russian tank, which Russian soldiers tried to hide in the bushes, but it was spotted by surveillance drone, and with the help of the FPV, it was kaputted. This is the tank. This data comes from Sternenko, Ukrainian volunteer, who delivers lots of the drones to Ukrainian army. Well, one more Russian artillery system, Solntsepak, was hit. It's already the third one for the last few days. It seems like Russia really wants to use them closer to the front lines, and they are pretty much the good targets for Ukrainian FPV drones, and this anti-drone cage usually doesn't help. Now let's go with a recent update. So we have the Russian army movement in Poltavka. So this is the significant bridgehead which they created between Toretsk and Pokrovsk directions. So Poltavka is now under attack. Let me go here a little. So Russia moved for the last 24 hours towards this direction, to those lakes and Volodymyrivka village. And also they tried to encircle Poltavka from the western flank. As you may see, this village is already like half encircled, and if Ukrainian army is presented there, they should leave the village to this place because there is the river. So basically Ukrainian army could be jammed very fast here, and I predict that Ukraine will leave this entire area, Ruzzian and Poltavka. Let's zoom out to the bigger scale. So here is this Russian army movement. You probably can see it. And let's go 1 week ago, 21st of July. And here it is 28th of July. So for 1 week, Russia moved in many of the directions, and they continue to expand the bridgehead. However, in the Pokrovsk direction itself, in Mirnograd, they're not pushing that strong anymore after their attempt towards Pokrovsk from Shevchenko failed miserably. Well, I think that they might gather the forces to attack Rodinsk. However, if we go westbound here in Kamar direction, you may see the Russian advancement. Well, actually we have the correction of the front lines here. 2 days ago I said that there is the threat for Voskresenka, and now it definitely was confirmed. I wonder about this big gray area. I wonder about the presence of Ukrainian army really far away behind the main group. So if it is really like that, it means that it is very bad. For Ukrainian soldiers who deployed in this pocket, it could be not like that, so Russians could have already occupied this territory. We just don't have the confirmation of their presence, the presence of the Russian soldiers somewhere in this area. But we have the confirmation from Voskresenka that they went into this village. So yeah, for the last 24 hours, it's more or less correction for the Russian army, but they gained new positions here. We also have the confirmation about the same direction from the Moscow Center 3. Well, here this pocket is way less compared to what we witness on the deep state military map source, so hopefully our guys are fine and will leave this area if they're still out there. I have those photos from Liman direction. It seems like Russians tried to go across the small river. There was the small bridge there as well. They went with BMP or maybe MTLB, which was towing artillery system. And you see from those drone images, yeah, there is also the vehicle, maybe other vehicles, so they were completely demolished by Ukrainian drones. The attempt to go across the river totally failed for them. Yeah, I took it from this OSINT analytic. I think he has been deployed on the front lines. Here we have one more video from Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Russians tried to go with their BMP on attack and they hit the mine. The mine was really big. It was anti-tank mine which left absolutely nothing from this Russian BMP with a thin armor, yeah, and you may understand what happened to the crew inside. But the thing that they continue in a little different direction with their tank, and it is T-62 old tank which also hit the mine. Well, as you may see here, it has the anti-tank plaque in the front. That is what saved the vehicle from the total destruction, but nevertheless it was kaputted with this severe kaboom. It even lost some of the wheels because of it. And I think that the tankists, they're not very happy about it. Guys, those were the major updates from the front line for today, and I'm calling you to check out the recent video I filmed about Donald Trump and how his behavior and attitude to Russia changed completely. And we see how he is really disappointed with Putin, how he puts new ultimatums on Russia. So the news are good for Ukraine, so I highly recommend to check out recently uploaded video. And now I'm gonna film more videos for you, so it's gonna be a news update and a special video about Aeroflot and the hacker attack on it today, which led to the complete cease of the Aeroflot operation. So stay tuned, and it is only possible, I mean, the content publishing is possible because of my patrons, those guys who support me on Patreon. So if you have this opportunity, the link for my Patreon is in the video description below. Thank you so much for maintaining my motivation, guys. And now I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.